Hey guys, Brady at East Rosebud here. Today we're going to tie a stonefly I've been playing with for a couple years with some material you typically wouldn't use in a stonefly. Cool, heavy freestone bug. Alright, we're tying this thing on a K200 Kumoto natural bend hook. We've got a tungsten bead up front. I've got UTC thread here in brown. We're just going to start our thread, lay down a quick little base, and walk towards the bend here. Next we're going to tie in a chunk of Sexi floss or Spanflex, whatever you got for a leg material. And we'll tie that in, going off the back of this thing, split, just like that. Make sure that's good and secure there. We're going to work forward maybe 3/4 of the way up and tie in some wire. This is copper wire and Brassie size. Tie that in right down the side. Work on back to our tail here. Next is grinch chenille for our body. Shorten that up a little bit. We're going to peel off some of these fibers so it's bare, easy to tie in, not bulky. Do the same deal there, just right down the side to our tail. Set that out of the way as well with our wire. Now we're going to take a chunk of Kreelex Flash in pearl. Probably a good, I don't know, 12, 15 fibers. And we're going to tie those in right on top of this hook. Work forward on them, kind of lashing down as we go. Set those out of the way. So first we're going to take our grinch chenille here and palmer that up the body. Try to keep it as slender as you can. If you get too tight with those wraps, it tends to get a little fat and jams up your hook gap a little bit. Tie that off, cut it out of there. Done with grinch chenille. Our next part here, we're going to take all of our Kreelex Flash, pull it straight over the top, and tie that off. And kind of work it forward towards the bead. Just leave it there for a minute. And why I use so much of this in the pearl color, they offer a ton of colors, but I think a really cool feature of this product is it really takes Sharpie color well. So if you get it in a pearl, you get a ton of this material and you can make it whatever color you want. It's got a really cool shine to it. So I'm going to add brown Sharpie to it here. And again, you can add black, I mean, whatever you fancy. It looks really cool and it keeps that shine to it really well. So it turns out something like that. Now we'll take our wire and segment this body. Go ahead and tie that off. A couple good wraps and you can spin it out of there. Do your best not to trap any of these Kreelex fibers, because we still got to use some. Now I'm just quickly going to clean up this thorax space here. Like that. So what we're going to do now is take our Kreelex, pull it back, and lash that down right on top again, and just leave it out of the way again for a minute. We're going to add some more span flex to this thing. Sexy legs, silly legs, whatever. Just going to split a semi-even pair of legs here. Tie them in on my side first. And the far side. Okay. Now what we're going to do is make a quick dubbing loop. This part can be tricky as far as we got a lot of materials going on here, and you don't want to catch a Kreelex fiber or a leg, so you just have to take your time here. Pick those legs. Now we're going to add some olive snowshoe rabbit dubbing into our loop here. Good healthy amount of it. I like to try to spread out this material before I get it in the loop. And once it's in there, we can spread it out as well. Go ahead and spin that up. Kind of brush it as we go. Good. Now we're just going to wrap this thing. Again, just be careful not to trap a leg or anything like that. Just go slow. Get right up to that bead, and we will tie that off. In there and cut out our dubbing loop. Get a couple more good wraps in there, make sure our dubbing loop's set, nothing's going to fall out. Kind of our final step here is to take our Kreelex, split our dubbing, and go right on top here.
Stranger, how are you?
I'm great, bud. How are you?
Good.
Couple good wraps, and we're going to carefully trim out our Kreelex fibers here. Go ahead and whip finish this thing. We'll color our thorax, trim our legs, and it is done. So another cool part with the Kreelex, you can make the back of this thing, you know, different color from the body to the thorax casing. I'm going to leave it the same, but again, just cool to have that option. So I'm going to brown Sharpie this. Get that all colored up good. I'm going to peel up the front legs. Like to leave them pretty long. Like that. Back legs of the tail, shorten them up a little bit. There we have a Kreelex stone. Pretty cool bug, it's heavy, easy to tie, just a cool way to use Kreelex. Thanks for joining us.